Welcome back to the channel. Today is part 2 finally of how my boat is stored, rigged, whatever you want to call it, for this upcoming year and season. Got all the tackle where I wanted them at. Gonna also kind of show you, not do a deep dive in my storage video because I did one last year and then I already did one kind of explaining why I store boats or how I store them per storage, what stays in, what stays out, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just gonna kind of show you how my boat's laid out, where the baits are at, and kind of explaining why. Because I think it's kind of important to do this kind of video is because I don't run a 21-foot fiberglass, I run a 17.5-foot aluminum boat. So the storage that I do is gonna be way different than you see all the pros or any of your local weekend hammers who are rocking 21-foot fiberglass boats. They just open their lids and it's just individually stacked. You know, there's nothing double stacked. They don't have to move stuff around. I have to because I don't have a big bass boat. So I think it's kind of important for me to show you guys how I have it lined up and set up, because I do believe it does still be able to hold a lot of tackle, but also make it effective. So two things before we get going is, like I said last week, I am now partnered with Haywood Bait and Tackle. So if you do use my code, BASSIN513, either send me a screenshot of it, of your receipt if you go in store, or your confirmation or your order from online. Send that to me and I will give you a shout out on my story, just to say appreciation of me to you guys and gals for using my code. I do really appreciate it. It's pretty much in-store credit I get for down the road to bake up more unboxings or pick up some new rods or reels, which will pretty much be unboxing. So if you guys use that, I really do appreciate it. If you find it cheaper somewhere else, buy somewhere else. Same thing I do. Even with my code, I still buy some other places because I find it cheaper. Also, you guys know I talked about this since this Seaguar Gold Label. This is the 6-pound, this little spool. If anyone's watching from Seaguar or one of the reps, this is their 12. Not a big deal, right? You pull it out of the case, and if you can't really see it, that's all my line right there. It makes sense, 25 yards. So can someone please explain to me why we had to use big spools? Why can't we just put it on these little guys? Because that Seaguar bag, one I bought, these fit perfectly. These don't fit. These are just loosely in there now. So I'm not using that Seaguar bag, and hopefully I can return it to Tackle Warehouse. Hope it's not too late. But it's just kind of, to me, kind of frustrating. I don't understand the concept. I don't understand why it's two different sizes. So I gotta figure out a different way to store the line now. What I probably do is buy the little Seaguar bag that's designed for like the 6 and 8s. I might buy that little bag for my little line, and then my 12 and 15, I'll probably just put them in my big box. Which I did put my line management Plano box in here. The Seaguar bag's over there somewhere. So anyway, let's get into this. So first thing first, console. Sassy. First thing first is live well. I need to be able to measure and weigh the fish real quick. So I got my thermos scale right here, which I don't have to open this up. It usually sits right there. So I can just pull it out, measure my fish. And if it's a callable fish, open this up. I got my call tags and bags. On a tournament day, I'm probably gonna leave this out underneath somewhere. But when it's not in tournament day, they stay in there. Rain suit, some winter gloves, or my summer gloves are in there. This is, I said, my day box. So I'll put my baits in there that I'm using for the day, like soft plastics or anything I want to try. In the back here, it's usually stuff that I don't use as much or don't swap out. So like my frog box, you know, I throw the same frog all day, so I don't really have to swap it out. So it doesn't be super easy for me to get out of. Top water the same way. Big change is in the jerkbait box. I was running the 6 cents Provoke box, got rid of it. So I changed this. So this is all my 97 DDs, 97s, 106 like cleaner ghosty colors, 106. Those are the new Lucky Craft baby shads I showed you guys off. 110, 106 size deeper divers. I got like some Strike King Stunnas in there. 6 cents. Standard 110, some different brands, Lucky Craft, so Ziri. These are all like I got 2 of those hyper jerks, and then a custom junior size jerk bait from Folk. Can't really see, but these are like all my little KVD 100s and my spy baits. So once again, I don't swap out jerk baits very often. Okay, get this one handed. Got it. But I don't swap out jerk baits very often. Usually I have, you know, one. Usually have a ghosty color on deck or a dirty watercolor, and then I'll pretty much just keep an extra one in this area if I want to change just in case. Back here, no change from last year. GT cranks. This is all my This is my go-to crankbait. So this is like all my crankbaits are in this box. I showed off in my I think my buyer guy or storage guy, whatever. But this is all my cranks. So I got like 1.5. I got some mid divers in there. My bunch of different crankbaits. These are my flat sides. So all my flat side baits are in there, and these are my treble hooks. This is a little box right here. Treble hooks, stuff like that. Pliers for the treble hooks. So that's easy for me to keep all that together. Of course, rod locker. No rods because it's still cleaning. But I threw all my rod stocks in there, bait covers, stuff like that. So I got those new involved. Anyway, dogs are gonna be barking. Got my involved ones, my 6th Sense ones, and my Dobbins rod sleeves are on there. And my weigh-in bag that I got to replace because it's ripped. We'll go with the middle one last. This is my side. So this is what a big change was. Is changed way, not super different, but I got my jump pack here, extra life jacket, throwable. And then before, it was just bags, just stacked on each other. I kind of eliminated that, so now my flush bag's there. And look, easily get my freestyle. The only thing that's kind of hard is to get my treble hook swim baits, like call shad, magdrass, stuff like that. They're kind of a pain in the butt to get to, but I don't throw them very often. So I throw a flush very often. I got my RNS connection. See if anyone can figure out what the RNS connection means, what it stands for, let me know in the comment section. But all my strolling baits are in there. I upgraded that to a bigger bag this year. These are the new Plano bags I talked about. The stickers are not really sticking on there, so I'm going to have to change it. But all my small swim baits are in this bag now. All my mid swim baits are in there. You know, so it's pretty much 3 inch to 3.5. 4 to bigger, including those 6 inch whales are in there. These are my Largo shads and hollow bodies. I don't throw those the most, so they stick back there. Mids and slows are fast, so it's a lot nicer. Big whales, the big worms are easy to get to. The only one that's hard is that tray swim baits, but I don't throw them very often. So I'm pretty excited. This used to be a big old mess, and I feel like I've saved a lot of space in here. So pretty happy with that layout. And now this might look like a giant mess, and it kind of is. So this goes farther back. It goes all the way to the ending right there. But the problem is, anything back here, I gotta leave like all of this open for me to pull it through, and it's just kind of a pain. So this is kind of what I'm talking about with the difference in my boat and like a fiberglass boat. You know, you see people with these Plano boxes and it's just single road, and now they're back on the side and they just grab them. I can't. I got a 3 stack mine. So mine are 3 stack high, and it's based off of how important or what I'm going to be using. I will change this per week. Like right now, this is actually not wrong. This is wrong. Actually, the trailer should be on top. The clouts, which is my Cinco bag, should be on bottom, because it's still, it's not even March yet. It's 3rd week of February right now. It's actually my first time all year, I leave the garage door open. Blacks out, hang out in the sun. It's like 41 degrees a day, and I feel like it's like 80 degrees because how cold it's been. Anyway. So yeah, so that's all that. Like my tubes are there, flipping crawls, very bottom shaky heads, which will probably change. The flipping crawls might move to the bottom, and the shaky head might come on top, or they might go in the middle because of the summer or the bite I'm on. If I get on a big shaky worm bite, then those bags are coming on top. But if I am going to throw a shaky worm, I usually grab that bag and I put it in my day box. So if I do start catching them on a shaky worm, I don't have to crawl it back down here to get a bag, they're already out. They're in my day box. If you don't own a day box, these are Plano. This is not the marine grade one. This is one from Home Depot. It's just like 15 bucks to make a marine grade version as well. But that's really easy. If you don't want to buy one, you know, we do have this middle seat. You can just buy yourself a bag or a box or something. That charger can be moved, more than likely. You can move that charger out of the way and give you some room there. So you always make that a day box. That was my original goal, but I did not. They do make coin boxes for this, so you can bolt to that, so you make that a day box. But, so anyway, so that's all that. So I got my hooks here, this is my terminal box, and I got all my little individual boxes. Blade baits don't really use very often, so they can sit right there. Baby whales, big time small swim bait, goes right there. I can move this out of the way. I get my Ned baits, real easy to get to. Once again, I don't have a lot of room, so I kind of have to double stack them. Baby whales are easy to get to. My chatterbait trailers are easy to get to. My jigs. The lipless box, kind of pain in the butt. I can move the jig box out of the way, and then I can slip the lipless box out. So, when I was talking about stuff being back there, so if I did have anything back there that's really important, I'll have to move all this stuff. There's my old Plano bag. See, I told you, get the line bag in there. But you see back there, I got some extra baits. So I made that, decided this year I'm going back to being something I don't pull out very often. So this is like my registration, some tools. I put my extra spark plugs that I swapped out. My old water pump, it's fine, didn't break any of the propellers off. So if my water pump ever goes bad, I can pull that one out and put it back in my boat. Extra crankbait box right there, a bunch of extra cranks and spinner baits. Might be asking, Logan, why is your spinnerbait box out? You know, that's gonna be something you're gonna be throwing a lot of coming soon, and you're 100% correct. The big thing for me on spinnerbaits is I'm not very crazy with it, I guess you'd call it. I'm very basic. So on that one, if I'm going to a lake and I know it's usually dirty, I'm gonna pull out probably tie on a painted blade one, depends on the water clarity. But I'm gonna pull out a painted blade one. I'll pull out one with the gold or bronze blades, whatever you want to call it, copper blades, whatever. I'm gonna pull that out. The gold blade one or the painted blade one's gonna go in the box. So now I have my two that I think, and if I get there and the water's super clean, no big deal. I'll pull it all out and I'll pull out a clear water spinnerbait. It's something that I don't throw and lose a lot of. You know, spinnerbaits are really good around cover. I mean, they're pretty weedless and brushless, but they're overall really easy around cover. So it's something I'm not swapping out as much. The extra crank box, this is a bunch of extra cranks. It's literally all it is. I honestly probably shouldn't have it in the boat, but I'm always thinking that one day I'm gonna need it. There's also some extras of like some 1.5s in there. I got some deeper cranks in there, like my 15-foot divers, 20-foot divers. The DD tactical crankbaits are in there, stuff like that. So it's kind of one of those things like I need them in there, but there's nothing more along these rails. So the blade bait box and lipless box stop. So the C6 box goes back in there. The baby whale box bag goes right there. And look, and then I take this, my life jacket. You can just kind of lay in there. I did change a lot. I was gonna show you everything that came out, but you can't really see. So what came out so far is the 6 cents jerkbait box, a 6 cents big bag, and 3 Bass Mafia, they're 6 cents bags, but Bass Mafia type bags. I did all that from just realizing what I need the boat, what I don't need the boat. You know, there's no point of storing baits in your boat if they don't work. I mean, I got a box over there now of just baits I had no confidence in. They've been in the boat for a couple of years. They're just taking up space. There's no point. Also, it will help me keep the boat a little bit lighter. It won't matter. This boat's still going to go 38 miles an hour. So the big thing about rigging your boat and where to put your baits is I try to put them in priorities. What I'm using the most. Like once summertime comes, this clout bag will be here all summer long because I'm using clouts. They break off, they fall off, whatever. Boom, I get that right out, grab my bag. Or if I'm like, hey, I might be on a clout bite, then I can just grab a bag from the bottom, put it in my day bag, in my day box. And if it comes out, I'm struggling, I go in my rod locker, I pull a rod out, I go to my hooks, I grab a wacky rig box. I mean, look at this, and it comes right out. Right out. Going back in, yeah. Can't do it with one hand, but. There's no time change. That was literally how long it took me to put it back in with 2 hands. So I get my hook out real quick. I got my cloud out. I grab my tool, which actually might be back here. I have a tool for my Arsenal bands. I love those bands. Or if you use the VMC crossover bands, both are awesome bands. I like the Arsenal bands, just haven't had any issues with them. So now I can rig it up real quick, and now I'm back fishing. I'm not hooting around. I'm not scrolling through a bunch of bags. I kept everything simple. Tubes, the same thing. I come over here. I go to my TNT bag, my box right there. I grab my tube head, I grab a tube, I tie it on if I have my rod on deck, or I pull out the locker. Back on the water. The time, you gotta be kind of quick, especially on tournament day. If you're out playing around, just having fun, who gives a shit? Put the baits in however you want and go fish. Who really cares? I mean, honestly, the only time it really matters if it's schooling fish and they're busting and you're over here trying to figure out you grab your top water to throw at them. Well, your top bar is already tied on. You're going to already have the tied on catch summer fishing. But I know this video is going to be a lot of rambling. I do apologize in advance, but that's the big thing. It's just trying to figure out how to store your boat. It doesn't matter if you have my boat, you got a boat with no storage, and you buy one of those big Plano boxes, and that's your storage. You just got to figure out how to put all your boxes in, your bags in, and that you can get to everything real easy. This even includes when I do the Wednesday nighter with Aaron. I got a big Bass Pro bag, and I also have, I'm trying with the brand of the little bag. It's like Samurai or something, some Dick's brand. But the same concept is there. When I go fish with Aaron, I got to figure out what boxes are coming, and I need to lay them in there. So if I need to retie my jig, I open the bag up, I grab my jig box right out. Or I need to retie my Texas rig, or I need to tie this on. I try to make everything simple because we're fishing for money. It's the same concept. You just got to look at what your situation is and figure out what should stay in your boat, what does not. Technically right now, like I said, clouds can probably stay out of the boat. I could probably leave this out. Look, made more room already. Move that. Oh, shaky heads. Not throwing that anytime soon. Pull those out. Put flipping crawls back in. Put tubes back in. There you go, look. Now you've made yourself more room. Now you can move this baby whale bag right here if you want to. Ned baits. If I think the ned's going to be more important, I can move those out of the way. So you can move. That's the great thing about bass boats, especially like a tracker or any brand out there. You can move yourself around. So I'm honestly won't be surprised if I change the layout where everything sits. You know, if I start getting a good lipless bite, that lipless bag box might come out. The jig box might move back in there. Or the lipless box might move out, and I might move some stuff out of the way and slide it in there. That's the great thing, is that you can change it. If you feel like, hey, I need that lipless box out, easier to get to, move some shit around. There's probably a bag or box in here, and I'm not throwing as much or not needing. The C6, C10 box. This is once the water gets, 50 degrees. This is when this box comes out. Before then, I can pull this out. Holy shit, I made more room. Look, now the baby whale bag can sit right there now. I can take that tube bag, or that drop set bag, I can lay it up there now. I've made myself even more room now. And that is kind of what I'm trying to explain and trying to show, is that you can change stuff around to better fit. If I find that spinnerbait bite is just fire, I need that out here. The C6 box bag ain't happening. I can put that in there, bring my spinnerbait box out. Now I have what's important to catch fish at this time. Now out, and I'm able to catch fish on it now. So that's kind of the point of this. I know I've said it like 20 times now. It's just figuring out the best way to rig your bag. Like I said, I'm not going to go all into all the bags again. Like I said, there's already a storage video from last year. There's all those other videos that you can look up on my channel. But I just want to kind of explain what's going on. Oh, no, that is right. I did want to show something. So I want to show off my trolling box. because we didn't finish it last time. I started to finish it. So, once again, if anyone can guess and understands the reference of RNS connection and what it has to do with strolling, let me know in the comment section. We'll see if anyone gets it. But what I was talking about, so this is it. So these are different brands, but they're all 1/8/3/0. 1/8/3/0 sticker, 1/4 top. Oh, sorry, top bottom. So this is close to this one, 3/8. I got some more owner range rollers. That's the weight. Two different brands, but they're both 8/0, or 1/8 2/0, 1/8 2/0. These are some Gamakatsu 3/16 3/0. If you don't have a label maker, what you can also do is what I did here on this one. This is just for this is just to show you guys. You can put the piece of paper in there. Oops, close covering up. So now it says 3/16 3/0. So now I know these little hover hooks are 3/16 3/0. Now I have everything labeled. I labeled the box. Mine sit like this, and I labeled the head. So now, when I come in and look, I see my heads. I can grab them and go. Swimbait heads. That's another great thing to do is the labeling. But if you don't have a label, piece of tape and Sharpies will work as well. So, I hope this video helps even if the guys who have all the room in the world and what I explain. And like I said, this will change. I will change this per lake I'm going to, per tournament. And like if I'm going to a lake and I know shaking heads and clouts are out of the book, I'll pull them out of the boat. Like my A-rig box is that bag from Tackle Warehouse. It's not in the boat right now because when I finally start fishing, it's gonna be a low of high 30s. A-rig bite's not big for me. So it won't stay in the boat until the water gets to at least 40, 42 degrees. And now that bag will come back in. But also I can make room. I can fit it in there. I can pull baits out that don't need to be in there. Honestly, right now, I could probably pull out most of this stuff out. You don't need a ton of stuff going on when your water is still, for us, still kind of frozen or starts to unthaw. So, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I know I rambled a ton. I do apologize. Just trying to make sure I include everything and what my mindset is on how to store and why I store the way I do. I'm just trying to make sure I get all the details that I wanted to get for you guys and gals so you kind of understand my mindset. My mind's kind of all over the place. The boat's definitely not done yet. I still need to vacuum it, clean it, and do a bunch of other stuff. But hope that kind of helps you guys do it. I will have my storage video linked below from last year. It gets a lot bigger deep dive on all the boats, on all the tackle. And also I will do, I think I did a best of storage video, I can't remember. But anything with storage, I will link below. And also, if you guys would like to support any of the businesses that support me, all their contact information will be down in the subscription. They donate money every year to help the channel out. So if you guys can do any business with them, I would really appreciate it. And that does include Hamilton Baiting Tackle and use my code BASSIN513. That's on anything except Mega Bass stuff. I do appreciate anybody who uses that code. But except that, hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.